I'm at Bayview Park in Pensacola. Come down here and play sometimes. These are the courts. Really nice park, really quiet. Nobody playing today. Probably too hot. It's supposed to rain later. I started playing tennis when I was 10 years old. I played in Arkansas. We lived out in this marina, which was like 14 miles away from a town. And all the rich kids at school played. And I had to beg my dad to get me a tennis racket and some balls, and he did, reluctantly. But I started hitting on a bridge pier onto a gravel road, and man, I used to do that for hours and hours and hours every day. And one day this guy in a brand new Cadillac who knew my dad stopped, and he was smoking a big cigar, and he asked me if I wanted to go to town to play in a real court. And I did, and he taught me some of the rules and started to hit with him every once in a while. And then he took me to the country club and entered me in a tournament, and I won the tournament, and I was hooked ever since. You know, my dad was old school and all that, and never would have joined the country club or anything like that, but all I knew was that racket got me into the country club, and it was pretty cool. Played all over the place. We moved around a lot. We lived on this boat, and my dad moved around all over the place, which is another story. But we ended up in Crystal River, Florida, and I think I was 15 or 16, sophomore at that time, and I started to play at the Plantation Inn, and that was with I drove my flatboat over there, and I went in and met the pro, and his name was Mike Riley. And Mike at that time held the world marathon tennis playing record, or he did at one point. I'm not, I googled that, and I'm not positive about that, but anyway, he tried breaking his record at one point, and I think he was 35 at that time, and he passed out on the court after like 72 hours. But anyway, I started working with Mike, which was really cool because it got me into the country club again. And my dad, he never really supported the tennis, but I loved it so much, man. And I met so many great people and wonderful folks, and it was just a cool sport. I loved it because I played other sports. I played football and basketball and any sport, but tennis was like just you. It's just one-on-one. If you won, you won. If you lost, you lost. And I don't know, I still to this day love playing singles for that reason, I guess, and I get more of a workout. I got some notes here. Yeah, going back to Arkansas, when I was a kid, I used to read Tennis Magazine. That's how I learned. I got lessons out of Tennis Magazine, actually, and I used to watch on TV, and just it was so awesome to just hit a tennis ball. It still is today. I went in the Navy when I was young. I played in the Navy. Well, I won a couple base tournaments, and that got me out of duty, and I got to go to the officers club at one point, and it was a good skill to have. I got out of the Navy. I played on and off, and I just have always had this awesome love for the sport, and it's just been it's my favorite thing to do. Fast forward to 2011, I believe. That's when my wife and I and son moved to Fort Myers, Florida. And I had played on and off, you know, here and there, and I lived in Gulf Shores, Alabama for a long time. I played over there and taught a little bit here and there, but I never really you know, took it up the way that I did in high school, which I used to play 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, anywhere I could. But I met Denny, and Denny was the director of tennis at the Players Club at that time in Fort Myers. And we started talking, and he asked me to go hit some balls, and I did, and he invited me to go to that was actually the 4th of July, and he invited me to go to his club because he was having an event for the Wimbledon finals. So I did, and get there, and we just had this awesome time with his members, and we played for a couple hours, and then we watched the Wimbledon finals, and then my son actually started going to his camps, and I started to go down and hang out and you know, help out, and it was just so cool being at that tennis club, because I just love it, you know. I love the whole atmosphere, and I love what Denny was doing, and it just sparked my whole interest in tennis again. And so I just started showing up and hanging out and helping out for nothing, and you know, it was so much fun. And Denny suggested that I go get my USPTA certification, and I at that time didn't even know what it was, didn't even know that existed. But he recommended me, and he already set me up in Boca Raton. I was actually working offshore at the time. I'm a captain on a supply boat, so I work like a month on, a month off. That's a whole nother story. But anyway, Denny helped me out a lot, and he just guided me in the right direction. And I studied when I was on the boat, and I went there for that weekend, and I was so nervous. It was, and I don't think I've ever been more nervous in my life, you know. And I took the test, and then anybody that's ever been through certification knows that it's nerve-wracking. So I took the test and went on the court and gave the lessons and did all the things. And then when you get done, they say, okay, we'll let you know. So I didn't find out for 6 weeks later, and I found out that I passed. I was offshore on the boat, and I talked to my wife, and she said it came in the mail, and I passed, and I was jumping up and down. I don't think anything's ever meant that much to me, ever, with the exception of family and kids and all that. But it was a really cool thing. So I got to work. Denny put me on the payroll, and he was paying me $13 an hour, and he could have paid me 13 cents. I didn't care. I was getting paid to go to the tennis courts, and that was the coolest thing I had ever experienced. And I worked for Denny for on and off for 3 years, I think, and then we left. My daughter was moving back to Pensacola, so we came back up here. But anyway, that's my tennis story. I hope I hope that anybody watching this gets something out of it. It's been an incredible sport to be involved in. Actually, I got a few more notes. Hold on. It's been a great way for me to meet awesome people who I'm friends with. I've been friends with many of those people for decades, and just have always enjoyed meeting great people, and people involved with tennis are just generally great people. It's a great way to get some exercise, and most of all to really have some fun. And my goals now, I want to get better at teaching. I know that hanging out with Denny and some of the pros there at Fort Myers, it was just an awesome experience. And now in Pensacola, I want to hang out with guys who really know how to teach, really care about what they're doing, and not just to make money, just really care about the sport and growing it and getting people involved. And then I want, and I'm working on this now, I'm trying to find a property to build my own court, which is my dream of all dreams, probably every tennis player's dream. But I'm gonna make that happen in some way, somehow. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you out on the court soon. Thanks.